interesting topics to discuss, but one of them, as usual, is our grammar book. The second one is what you think of genius,
What?
geniality. There's been many people who've been really amazing people, but what does it take to become a genius or to be a genius, considered a genius? And yet, which are the phases of geniality? Why do we say, oh, Einstein, Beethoven, Picasso, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Chopin, they are fantastic people. What made them to be such genius as they were? What do you think?
I think it depends of the time of humanity timeline. For example, Einstein, or better Picasso, and no, better Einstein. He demonstrated that they was very smart. Uh,
Your microphone, Mitch, is off. Okay, now it's open. Thank you.
yeah, and that kind of knowledge in their time. Sorry, I'm hearing echo. I can concentrate. Uh,
Okay. Well, that's an interesting comment. What do you think about genius, Mickey? What is geniality? Why there have been some brilliant people? What do you think about genius? What makes a person a genius?
Yeah, well, I think that there are different types of genius. Probably one type of genius could be uh, somebody who is an expert in music or expert in mathematics, in math, or in science. And I think that we can define a genius like a person with more, could be skills or more abilities to develop a certain activity or certain activities.
Okay. And now a cliche, which is a common question, is: does a genius live happily, or do they have to be sweet bitter in their lives? In other words, people like Beethoven who died, what do you think? Can they live happily? Is that in conflict or is a consequence of being a genius? Can we say that genius always live happily, or is a contradiction, or it has nothing to do? There is no correlation.
Probably there's no correlation, but I know that there are some cases where there are people who are so smart, so genius, and they're not happy. And well, probably a person who is genius uh, could detect or could see things that probably are not the best for the rest of people and could affect to his happiness or her happiness because he see things that other people don't.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and I like that very much. So let's make two ellipses. In this ellipse, we are going to have happiness. In the second one, we're going to have geniality. So, can it be the case, Mitch or Mickey, that there is a common ground for happiness and geniality? In other words, there may be people who are happy, but they are not genius. There may be people who are genius, but they are not happy. And there may also be people who are a genius and they're very happy. That is the orange area, where you have both happy and geniality, happiness and geniality. What do you think about this area, common ground for happiness and geniality? Is it dense? Is it narrow? Is it? How can it be that we are or that people, our children, our friends, people in general can be happy and genius?
Mm, probably I don't understand correctly your question, teacher.
Yeah, how can it be that you are in both sides, that you are both happy and that you are a genius? Or any person, let's say Elon Musk,
Mm-hmm.
or an artist, a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
How can it
Yeah.
be that you are a geniality in business and you are not killing yourself due to stress, or that you don't have a very stressful life, that you have a happy life and yet you are genial, you're a genius? How can that be?
Probably trying to find a balance between the activity where you're developing, where you are genius, and at the same time do other things or other activities. Because yeah, there are some cases where people uh, gives a lot of time to a certain activity, and they could get stressful or stressed. And, and yeah, I think if you make or you do different activities, not only one activity, well, you have a balance, and it's probably that you're gonna be happier.
Okay, very good. What do you think about this diagram, Mitch?
Um, Sorry, teacher, I'm having problems with my microphone.
Ah, okay, don't worry. We have two ellipses, and there is a common ground for happiness and geniality. We want to be in both sides, right? We want to have a project, make it grow, be proficient at it, and not only proficient, but really, really good, innovative, creative, do something out of the commonality that is not common, something out of ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can be happy and live an ordinary life, right? My grandparents, they were very simple people. My grandfather was a man of work every day, like an ant, like a small ant that worked and worked and worked every day. He was nothing extraordinary except that he was a very decent man, a very honest and with integrity. But you cannot say that he was a 200 IQ person. He was simply a happy man and a man of work. There's also people, I know many people that have lived amazing lives, that have been genius. You can talk about probably Einstein. There is a musician, Beethoven, who had a fantastic life, a great composer, fantastic pianist, but his life was a bit dramatic. I'm not sure if I can say that he was not happy, but he was definitely a very controversial person who suffered a lot and enjoyed a lot. So he was
Mm-hmm.
probably a genius, but I'm not sure he was in the orange area. So the question, Mitch, how how can we be in the orange area? Or people, your
Mm,
friends, in the future, your children. How can we do that?
I think same as Mickey, trying to find a balance between both. And sorry. Mm, and knowing about the social skills between other people and loving ourselves, always continue. How can I say seguir adelante?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Um, in the adversities.
Oh, okay. In adversity. Yeah, that's a fantastic.
Because I
And
think being a genius is also need to, how can I say abarcar?
encloses
In,
encloses.
encloses the social skills. Mhm.
Well, let me tell you something, Mitch. Your comment is incredibly valuable, very important, because to adapt yourself, we need to be social. Above all, I think you mentioned a very key ingredient to become happy. I believe, I don't know if you agree, Mickey, or not, or you can make some quotations or some exceptions, but in general, to be happy, we need to be adaptable socially speaking. What do you think about that, Mickey? Do you agree with the comment?
Could you repeat it, teacher? Because my
Yeah,
computer was
in order
skipping.
to be happy, it is important, as Mitch says, that we are socially adaptable, that we have some social skills. What do you think about that?
Um, yeah, I think that, well, we are human beings and we are social. How can I say seres sociales?
How can we say what?
Seres sociales or yeah,
Social beings.
social beings. So I think that it's necessary to maintain conversation with people, to have someone to talk, and I think that is necessary to develop like social being, and of course that could affect in a positive or a negative way or happiness.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, very, very smart, very important comment also, Mickey. Thank you very much. Well, I would like to present you this interesting book, Five Faces of Genius. Five Faces of Genius. It's just an idea of how people can be genius mostly at work. It refers of people who've been real genius at work, and let's see how they have achieved that. Right, let's go straight to the index, which is always good. Okay, let's see. Mitch, can you read the first chapters, and then Mickey continues with putting the five faces of genius to work. So can you read section 1 and 2, finding the business genius, and five faces of genius, please? Can you do that, Mitch, please?
Mhm. Finding the business genius within. One, two, the five phases of genius. Seven, the seer 21. Two, the observer. 46, the alchemist. 70, the fool. 95, the sage.
The sage.
100.
Yeah, the sage is a person who's very wise, right? El sabio, right? The sage. He's a very sage person. Sage. So he's a wise person. Thank you, Mitch. Now, Mickey, please, if you can continue with the next two sections, section 3 and section 4.
Yes, sure. Putting the five phases of genius to work, discovering your genius within.
All right.
No,
Do you, yeah, yeah, yes, notes and index, right? Do you think it is possible, Mickey, to develop your genius within, that you have, everyone has some type of geniality or uniqueness, that maybe you are very talented for business, but you still have to develop it, to grow it, to make it grow, to polish it, to improve it, to the point where you can become of the very elite. Maybe one day you will join the club of Elon Musk or people of the like, similar people. Do you think that is possible, or what do you think?
yeah, I think that is possible. Probably there are people who has more opportunities than others, but I think that you can develop your type of geniusly, and of course, if you develop correctly, why not? You could be part of. that group, for example.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good, very interesting. What do you think about that, Mitch?
I didn't hear well.
Okay, we are asking if it is possible that you are a genius in business. Maybe you don't know it, or you have some geniality and you're very good at business or at art or at work in general, and you can make your genius within that is inside you. You have some type of geniality. Everyone has a lot of potential. So you have something that's going to make you like a genius, a great negotiator, a great conversationalist, a great developer, a great designer, something great, but probably you don't know it. How can you discover the genie or the genius that's within you?
Hmm. Maybe seeing results, comparing results between other people that are doing the same thing that you.
Could be, could be. Let's see exactly. Well, if you compare yourself with other people, you're going to find out where you are, right? But how do you grow? How do you develop? Because, for example, let's say that, oh, we discovered that Mitch is very smart. She's very good for business. So here is Mitch in the scale, right? Am I sharing or not? I'm not. I'm sorry.
Not sure.
Let me share. Uh, okay, here. So we have a diagram and we have the talent of people for businesses, right? So let's say that here we have Carlitos Slim, who's a good businessman. Let's say that we have Bill Gates. I don't know where to put him, if above or below, but let's put him right here, right? And we have another guy which is great for businesses, Elon Musk. Let's put him a little bit below, not too much below, but here. And then here is Mich and Miky. Yeah, here you are. You are very good at business. Here you are. You're very talented, but yet you are a little bit below um, Carlitos Slim and Elon Musk and other guys that are great businessmen. How can you grow to the point where you can say, well, I'm gonna gain some experience and I will become a great businessman? Not necessarily the richest man on earth, but a good person to negotiate, to develop a business, to be creative, and to get something. How can you go up the ladder? How can if we draw a ladder, how can we go up the ladder, right? This is a ladder. How can we go up the ladder in the positive direction? How can we do this?
I think that with practice and learning new and different things, because I think that if you don't learn new things, uh, you can be like stagnant, and I think that if you want to be one of the most important men in business, or probably not the richest people like you said, but people who has the respect of others to in that field, well, you need to stay constantly learning new things and practicing. And yeah, teacher.
Yes, 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 Mickey, I hear you.
Do you have your microphone on or no?
Oh,
Because I feel weird because at the same moment I'm talking, I listen to Megan and I feel weird.
no, I can hear you very clearly, and I think my microphone is on. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, but I don't know why in the moment that I'm saying or I'm talking, I'm listening here in the computer.
Maybe there is some echo. Okay, can you say something? I'm gonna deactivate my microphone while you talk, and tell me if you still hear this echo. I'm gonna deactivate my microphone.
Thank you, teacher. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, teacher, the problem was the microphone.
Okay, so when I talk, I'm gonna deactivate my microphone, and then when I quit talking, I will deactivate it. How about that?
Mm. Okay, teacher. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect, Mickey. So you were saying something very interesting. We go up the ladder, we have to practice, we have to learn different things. We shouldn't remain stagnant. How else, Mitch, can we go up the ladder? Can you tell us how we can go up this ladder?
What it means a ladder?
Ladder is escalera. How can we go up the ladder?
Mm, to be a genius? Or,
Not necessarily to become a genius, but to be very good at business or to become very good at what you do. For example, if you are a software designer, how do you become not only good but excellent, really proficient? How can you do that, or any person?
mhm. Practicing, having good social skills, knowing what the public want, um, getting good contacts of work, um, being constant. Yeah.
Okay, well, what you have said is just incredibly important. I noticed that in every, not in everyone, but in many of your comments, you include the importance of having good social skills. That is crucial. Why? Well, because if you have good social skills, you will be able to convince people that your product, that your service is good. You will get good contacts because you are friendly, you are respectful, you have good communication. So it's not only to be technically proficient, but also what Mickey and you, Mitch, say, which is being also socially proficient. And I believe that is incredibly important, incredibly important. So I'm very happy that you are saying this because it's not something that people recognize, right? Many people think that to become very good at anything, you need to be very technically skillful. Okay, yeah, that is important. But also, as Mitch says, you need to become very good socially speaking, have social skills, know you need to know what the public wants, or you need to get good contacts or being a good contact. I made a mistake here. Contact. Here is C. Okay, let's go ahead. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Mitch. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of reading about here. It is my business to create. Somebody wants to read the first page, please?
Yes, teacher.
Let me deactivate my microphone really quick. Okay, Mitch.
Yes. How did Albert Einstein get the idea for the theory of relativity? What was Georgia O'Keeffe's inspiration for her paintings? How did Andy Grove create the computer giant Intel? Have you ever wondered how histories best cut their ideas? Most of us believe geniuses are in a league of their own. What we don't realize is that these highly creative people use skills we all can learn. People are genius. Ideas are, and each of us is capable of our own breakthrough ideas. Here are the thinking skills of some of the most highly inventive people in history: Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Frank Lloyd Wright, Leonardo da Vinci, and more. When you understand their path to ideas, how they develop breakthroughs, you will be able to master your imagination in business. You will discover your creative style and how your imagination operates and how to become an idea leader. Continue, teacher?
Mickey, please. Yes, Mickey, please.
You learn to be a more vital member of your team and to ensure that your ideas see the light of day within your organization. You will discover the parts of you that are genius. Your company needs. Okay, okay.
Let's get there. Thank you very much, Mickey.
Yes, sure.
Now, we see many people here, and it all talks about genius or fantastic ideas, right? It says that it is not that we are the genius, the ideas are just amazing, right? Ideas are. So, what makes an idea unique, Mitch? I don't know if you can say, well, this is a great idea. What makes it unique besides that it is different, of course? What makes an idea great?
Um, could you turn off your microphone, teacher?
Say that again, please. Can I what?
Could you turn off your microphone, please?
Turn off. Okay, yes.
Thank you. Okay, I think makes an idea great, if the idea is something that it's not usual. Uh, how can I say visto por la sociedad? See? Uh, it's not usual seen by the society. It's something new. It's something innovate. It's something that could impact, could give a good impact in the public, and it's very creative.
Great, great, great idea. I like what you say very much, Mitch. And for that, you need to be very creative, of course. Need to be very creative. We need to be very creative. Creative. Okay, Mickey, uh, your own opinion about an idea. What makes an idea great, please?
Mm, I think that depends of the time where the idea was created. Probably, yeah, something new, something innovative, and something who could expand to other borders could be. Because if you do an idea scalable or something who could be better and improve, well, you could expand to other places and that idea will convert in a great idea.
Notice what Mickey is saying. You upscale your borders, or you upscale not your borders. You can expand your borders, but you can upscale your reach. Your reach al alcance, right? You can
Mhm.
increase your reach. So you upscale it, and that means that your idea in this moment is very good. You're gonna distribute tennis shoes to the people in Irapuato. But then you find a way to make a partnership with a courier service, DHL, UPS, FedEx, Red Pack, whatever. You make an agreement with them, and they give you a fantastic price with Amazon, with any distributor, with any courier service, and then you're able to distribute your tennis shoes in Guanajuato. But then you upscale your reach. You say, well, why only Guanajuato? Why not Mexico? And then you make a friend in Guatemala using Mitch's idea of having good social skills. Mitch says, why don't you make friends in Guatemala, Mickey? Or why don't you make friends in Honduras? They also speak Spanish and they also want to reach the American products, but it's difficult for them. And then you say, oh, that's a great idea. So you make friends in Guatemala, and then you upscale your reach. Now you have clients in Mexico, in Guatemala, in Honduras, in Puerto Rico, in different places. And because you speak English, you also have clients in the US. And all of a sudden, your market is not 350 million, but 1,000 million people, one seventh of the world. Well, what do you think? What do you think about that possibility?
Me?
Yes, Mitch. Mitch, what do you think about this idea? And then Mickey, please. What do you think about this upscaling your business, upscaling your possibilities? Mitch first, and then Mickey.
Well, what's the meaning of scaling?
Is making a scale, but growing your market, growing your potential, making it bigger. Make bigger your market, make bigger your clientele.
Hmm, maybe finding the points of good commercial, good commercial and get good contacts to grow our business. Um, we need to find the strategies to reach more people, and we know how which things the public like to attack the likes and base or strategies or publicity based on that, and get more points of sales in the campus laboral.
I like your comments very much. Mickey, can you make a comment about what Mitch suggested? I find her ideas really good. Uh, More points of commercial delivery, contacts, strategies to reach more people. This has to do with publicity, with social skills, market research, finding the things that people like. You need to do some market research and base your publicity on that. What do you think about this, Mickey, and your own opinion, please?
Yeah, I agree with Mitch. For example, I sell sneakers, and sometimes I feel that my market here in the city is a little bit limited, and so I need to find other ways to get new clients or possible clients. And one of them is, yeah, the publicity. If you publicize correctly your products or your service, I think that you could attack different markets in different cities, and yeah, you must have the correct strategies to show your product correctly to their people. So when you really show correctly the way and how you want to the people see your product, well, you're gonna increase your sales.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mickey, Mitch. Great comments. I like them very much. Thanks. And now let's ask Mitch to continue reading from here, please. It says, your company needs your genius. You're in a business renaissance. Okay, so let's continue reading from here, Mitch, and we go down the next page too, please. So can you please continue from your company needs your genius, Mitch, please?
Mhm. Your company needs your genius when we are in a business renaissance. Renaissance. and assign Renaissance artists, scientists, poets, and thinkers are the forefront of change. They master possibility, paint on empty canvases, and define the rules of the net age. To lead the changes in business today, you need to think like an artist and master your imagination, your currency in your ideas. Here's how I learned the importance of ideas in the mid 1990s. I was a successful manager at a world-renowned advertising agency, yet I was looking toward the future and wanted to know how I could accelerate my performance and advance within the company, and chose college was on his way to a new job. And I asked him for some honest feedback. What I hear shocked me. Jack, tell me, what can I do to improve my work with the team? Well, Annette, you're smart. You are a great manager. You get things done, but you are too focused on strategy. You spend too much time thinking about the problem the team wants your creative solution. What are your ideas? You need to increase your flexibility with ideas. Increase my flexibility with ideas? I couldn't believe it. I thought my imagination was very good. I've been using it for years, but his word haunts me. Not strategy, but ideas. I had to admit, Jack was right. I often try to understand even art about what needed to be done instead of how to create ideas to get there. How could I increase the quality of quantity of my ideas at work? To be more successful at work, I will have to learn to think more creatively.
Okay, very good, Mitch. Thank you very much. So the way I would word the problem is not only knowing the what you need to do. What you need to do is the strategy, right? What do you need, right? What do you need to do? Okay, what do you need to do, or what do you want to do? Those are two important things, right? What do you need, or what do you want to do? I would say that that is a strategy, right? I would put it as uh, strategy. And then the second, how can you get there? Those are the ideas. In the way I understand it, uh, let's think. It's just an idea, Mickey. It's not a suggestion. It's not a recommendation. It's not nothing. It's just an exercise. Let's say that you want to selling in Central America. Let's suppose that this was your dream, or one part of your dream, or Central America, right? Now, let's say I want to grow my market. I want to start selling in Central America. Well, that's the strategy. But the real problem starts when we say, how can you get there? How can you sell? How? How do you do this? Right? What would you suggest, Mickey? And then Mitch, how would you do this?
Mm, how can I sell to Central America?
Yes, yes.
Well, first of all, you must have a plan, and in that plan, you need to have your what's the name, teacher, of presupuesto? I forget it. You must have a plan in which you have your budget, your the way how you're gonna send, how you're gonna sell to Central America, um, the contacts to do that. And well, after all this, well, first of all, you must have a people who really you trust, And yeah, I think that mainly with the things that I said.
Mickey. Thank you very much. Mitch, what do you think about Mickey's idea? Can you add an additional proposition or proposals, please?
Maybe
Luego.
maybe if we invert in some
Mhm.
banks to duplicate our money, we could um, find better locations to invert in sucursal or sucursales, um, to with good locations. I think that if we sell a product, we have to find the location that we know that there are gonna be more people that could like our product, and it is easy for them to go there.
Very good, Mitch. Notice what you are saying. That's incredibly important. You want to invest money in some banks. I didn't understand when you said that you want to invest in some banks to duplicate your money. How do you plan to do that? You want to duplicate the money, or you want to? I didn't understand this very well. Can you explain, please?
Well, I'm not an expert on don't know, but I know if we invert uh, in some productions, if we sell products if we buy products in a lower price than we sell them, we can duplicate the amount of money that we started. For example, I saw when Mickey buy 10 shoes, he sell them in a upper price than he bought that. I refer to that.
Okay, very good. I understand. Okay, thank you very much. Mickey, what's your opinion about this? We have to invest in some banks, grow our money, find the best locations, and open new branches. New branches. A branch is a sucursal. New branch, sell products at a lower price. What's your idea about this, Mickey?
Mm, well, probably I think that if you invest your money in the bank, you're not gonna have a good. I forget it. How can I say rendimiento, teacher? Yeah, you're not gonna get the best rate, to be honest. And of course, it's necessary to find a good location to open our new branches. Because if you are located in a place where there are a lot of people, and normally there are people who walk for there, well, probably you're gonna have more clients and sell products at a lower price. I think that depending, because if you sell your products at a lower price, probably you're not gonna have the enough gain profit, the enough profit to continue with your business or your work.
Absolutely true. Okay, let's see what our book suggests about that. and how you can be more successful, right? But okay, let's continue reading here, please, and then we make some comments. Who wants to read here after increase my facility with ideas? How can we read? Who wants to read this, please?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Mickey, thanks.
Mm-mm-mm. Increase my facility with ideas. I couldn't believe it. I thought my imagination was pretty good. I've been using it for years. I've been using it for years. But his words haunted me. Not strategy, but ideas. I had to admit, Jack was right. I often tried to understand, even argue about what needed to be done instead of how to create ideas to get there. How could I increase the quality and quantity of my ideas at work? To be more successful at work, I will have to learn to think more creatively. I decided to learn about creativity from the best. If I could understand the mental architecture, the thinking skills of the most highly creative people in history, perhaps I could become more intuitive at work. I could sit at the feet of genius and learn to improve my business imagination. I began poring over the innovations of the most well-respected artists, scientists, inventors, and business geniuses of history. With each one I asked, how did this mind make the contribution? What were the mental principles at work that led to the breakthrough?
Okay, that's a great, a very interesting and intriguing concept. Let's write, I don't know if 10 is too many, but maybe five in Jamboard. The 10 most important discovery, five most important discoveries and five most important inventions. They are two separate things. One is invention and the other is a discovery, right? An airplane is an invention. A discovery, well, you discover that the earth is round. So discoveries and inventions. Discoveries and inventions. Let's write them, please, Mickey and Mitch. Let me share this with you guys, and then we talk about them, how people made those inventions or made those discoveries. I'll put this in the StreamYard, and also I'll put it in the chat. So if you guys can tell me about that, I'll um, I'll send you this in a moment. Here.
Okay.
So Jamboard, right in the chat of the WhatsApp and in the chat of the, the StreamYard. So who wants to comment about the most important discoveries and inventions, please?
Hmm. Could be the light.
Was the light an invention or a discovery, Mickey?
Mm. Discovery.
Oh, I had my microphone off. When we say the natural light, of course, the natural light is a discovery, but the light of a light bulb, the light of a lantern,
Innovation.
linterna, is an invention, right?
Yeah.
So, but yes, I agree. That's incredibly important. That's a very important discovery or invention. Okay, so what else?
Mm,
Mm,
telephone is an invention.
the rules of gravity are undiscovered and an invention in, I don't know. Ah, mm,
The rules of gravity, Mitch, are those an invention or a discovery?
an invention. Mm, a discovery. Mm,
Very good. So let's document the five most important discoveries and the five most important inventions in history, please.
mhm.
So let's write, please, the
The
five
fire.
most fire. Yeah. Okay. Fire. What is that, Mitch? An invention or a discovery? Fire.
A discovery.
Okay, a discovery. So I'm gonna put fire as a discovery. Okay. So let's put
The
that
internet.
internet is an important invention, of course.
Mm,
Mm, the electric light.
Electric, of course, electric light. That's an invention, Mickey, or innovation, discovery.
And invasion.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Okay, let's
mm,
continue working in our document of discoveries and inventions, please.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have some suggestions here. For example, fermentation is an important discovery because then you can determine, you can find out that bacteries do not need to be your enemies. You can
Yeah.
see that bacteries can also be your friends. Mickey, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that was one of the most important discoveries.
Fermentation is your friend because then you know that bacteries are not only detrimental, but they are also beneficial. They are also your friends, my friends, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Where do you find fermentation, Mickey? Where do you find the application of fermentation
In food.
in food? Absolutely, in food. Yes. As an example,
For example, the wine. Wine.
wine. Exactly. You can prepare beverages like wine. Very good, Mickey. Excellent. You can prepare wine thanks to the process of fermentation. And you can see that wine is one of the oldest products in history. So very good, Mickey. Very good, Mitch. You can apply fermentation in the preparation of wine.
Mm,
In bread.
the the bread, the yogurt.
Bread, yogurt, exactly. Bread, yogurt,
In
exactly.
cheese.
In cheese, cheese, exactly, cheese.
Chocolate,
So say that again, Mitch.
chocolate.
Chocolate.
Mhm. Well, actually, here in Google Share, it says are the ones who which going um, contain microbiotics lives.
Microbiotics, microbiotics.
Microbiotics, and they. Mm, no, sorry, teacher, I forgot my idea.
But I think your idea
I
is
have.
very good. Yes, Mickey.
Oh yeah, I have here my well the inventions that I put and the discoveries that I put.
Okay, let's take a look at them, Mickey, please, because I believe they're very, very interesting. So let's see what you got. Okay, inventions and discoveries. Perfect. Can you read them, please?
Yes, five more important inventions: the electric light, the steam engine, paper currency, steel, and well, the cars too. And five more important discoveries: penicillin, the molecular structure of DNA, the internet, medical imaging, and artificial intelligence.
Very good, Mickey. Before we take a look at Mitch's discoveries and inventions, let me ask you just about medical imaging and internet. I am not sure if internet is a discovery or an invention because it's the creation of people, of humans, of brilliant minds. And when you say artificial intelligence, how do you do that? Also, penicillin, penicillin. Well, no, I'm sorry. Penicillin is a discovery because you can find the fungus, actually, the Aztecs and the Mayans, but mostly the Aztecs, put tortillas with fungus in the back of the people when they had fever. People became sick, they had tuberculosis, so they had typhus, so they had an infection, and they put tortillas with fungus in the back. Well, Centuries later, Fleming discovered that those tortillas had what they called penicillin. So it's actually a discovery. But what about internet and medical imaging, Mickey? What do you think about those?
Hmm. Yeah, well, after hearing you, I realized that yeah, probably there are more inventions because it was created for the human, and yeah, was my bad.
But when you say the molecular structure of DNA, that's an incredibly important discovery. One of the most important discoveries ever, I think. How do you explain that? How did that happen? And then I'm going to ask Mitch about her. Actually, let me ask Mitch about this structure of DNA. Why do you think, Mitch, the molecular structure of DNA is so incredibly important?
Eh, the DNA, I think it literally defines how no, organic being of light it is.
Yeah, of course, of course. It defines the uniqueness of a person, of also, I believe animals also have DNA, right? Can you make genetic experiments? I don't want to, I don't mean to say for other, but let's say remove diseases. Maybe my baby is going to have Down syndrome and I want to avoid that. So maybe they can have a treatment on my baby that has the syndrome of Down or Down syndrome and avoid it or remove it with DNA genetics. What do you think about that, Mitch, Mickey?
Mm, well, I think that that will be one of the biggest advantage of the knowledge of the molecular structure of DNA, because we know that in the DNA contain all the genetic information of all the human beings and animals and yeah, I think that probably there's like a moral issue here because there are people who are uh, how can I say in favor of the modification of genetics since the molecular DNA, but I think it depends. For example, if you want to have a white kid, and probably your genetics not gonna help you in that, why you're gonna change it? But of course, if this person you know that gonna have an a disease that gonna affect the rest of his or her life, well, probably if you have the possibility to modify or change that, well, you'll do it. So I think that depends of the case. I think that the molecular DNA could be great or not. Obviously, it's my opinion, and it's probably my uh, the way how I think about the moral and all the stuff. But I don't know.
Okay, well, yeah, morality can be a handicap in your favor or against you, but
Yeah.
let's not be moral at this moment. Of course, morality is very important, but just talking about this technically, Mitch, do you think that the genetic manipulation of DNA structures of plants, let's talk about strawberries, broccoli, peaches, apples, oranges, you want to adapt a species to a new environment. For example, you bring coffee from Veracruz to Irapuato. Do you think that if you manipulate the DNA structure to grow coffee in Irapuato, would that be possible? What do you think about that? Would that be profitable, like a good business? Bring plants to Irapuato that normally don't grow here, that are tropical fruits? What do you think, Mitch?
It is possible, yes, but I think it depends of the kind of um, how can I say tierra, luego.
Soil, the
Ajá,
soil.
soil. Depends of the soil of the location. Maybe could vary the flavor a little, um, the quality of each fruit. For example, well, I think the genetic manipulation is too important to the for in food is was too important. For example, a lot of vegetables or fruits in the starts of humanity, they wasn't um, possible to eat. Uh, if you shared pictures of the banana in the first without manipulation, it's like just how can I say semillas?
Seeds, the
Mm-hmm.
seeds.
Totally seeds. Oh, does. um, the genetic manipulation is too important.
Exactly, exactly. Well, a simple example is the avocados. You know that avocados was, still is, the most important production of Mexico, based from Michoacan, and we were exporting thousands and thousands of tons to the US, to Europe, to Japan. The Americans, the US, are very brilliant and very intelligent people, of course, so they noticed that we were sending them thousands and thousands of tons of avocados to California, to Texas, to New York, to different places. What did they do? Well, they have a very important research center in California, in Los Angeles, and they developed a new species of avocado, and now they are growing avocados in California. Why do they do that? Well, it's better to grow it in your garden than buy it from the neighbor, right? What do you prefer, to grow avocados in your house or to be constantly buying from your neighbor? Hey, 1 kilogram, 1 ton, 10 tons, one millions and millions of dollars. Well, through genetic manipulation, they were able to adapt the avocados to the California soil. Well, they are brilliant, they are intelligent, of course, and now they're going to have a great business. Why cannot we do the same? In other words, if we want to adapt other species, not only of plants, vegetables, but animals as well, we can grow them here in Mexico. What do you think about that idea, Mickey, Mitch?
Mm, yeah, well, that will be great, but I think that the issue here is the governments and all the restrictions that I'm not sure, but I think that you can't harvest and a plant of different country, right? And you sell for yourself.
Well, that's a good comment, Mickey. When my daughter Minerva came to Mexico, she was planning to take back some seeds to Philadelphia. But when she got to the airport, the authority told her, "Do you have any seeds?" She says, "Yes, these are some seeds that I have." I don't remember if they were broccoli seeds or potato seeds, some kind of seeds. But they said that's forbidden, that's not permitted. So you get rid of those immediately. So she had to toss them to the garbage can. She could not take the seeds to Pennsylvania, to Pittsburgh, because the authority at the airport said, "Sorry, little girl, you're not taking the seeds to the US." What do you think about that, Mickey or Mitch?
Well, I think that everything is business, and if I'm seeing in the business aspect, Well, if you can, the same that you said, if you can harvest avocado in the United States, well, why you're gonna buy avocado to Mexico, right? So I think that there are a lot of laws and yeah, is forbidden, but it will be great because you could attack a lot of different. How can I say deficiencias, teacher?
Deficiencies or weaknesses.
Yeah, weaknesses in other places. For example, if you could harvest, I don't know, um, apples in Africa, or I don't know if it's possible to harvest apples in Africa, but let's suppose that yeah. Well, probably there are gonna be apples to more people, but capitalism,
That is exactly my point, Mickey. So, what I want to get to before we read Mitch's discoveries and inventions. Actually, let's go ahead and read Mitch's discoveries and inventions, and then we discuss that. But then the idea of it's better to build it than to buy it in general. But okay, I'm getting off the subject. I'm sorry, I'm getting off the subject.
Mm.
Let's read Mitch's inventions and top discoveries. Mitch, can you go ahead and read your inventions and discoveries, please?
Mhm. Um, okay. The inventions, I think the most important were the electricity, the vapor machine, the print, the paper, and the vaccines. And about the discoveries, was the fire, the wheel, the penicillin, the light bulb, and the gunpowder.
Well, gunpowder was invented by the Chinese, I believe, and it is.
I think it was an accident. Um, I don't know. I forget what they doing, but they wasn't their intention doing a dose which this could explode. Was an accident. The gunpowder.
Okay, but do you agree, Mickey, that it was one of the greatest inventions because that allowed the
Oh no.
development of weapons and then with weapons, the conquest of countries.
Oh no.
If you have weapons, you can conquer other countries and consequently get the resources of that country or those countries. What do you think?
uh, teacher. I think. I think it's one of the most important. It depends of the impact that the gunpowder has on the history, but I'm totally agreed that the thing that this thing um, bring us to the humanity is pretty bad. It's not that good.
Well,
I
if
was
you make a correlation to, I'm sorry, Mitch. If
no
you
no
make
no.
a correlation to current days, Mickey, you're going to think of nuclear power, right? Why did the Americans win the Second World War? Well, because they had nuclear power, they had the atomic bomb, and consequently, Japan surrendered and they imposed a penalty, a fine is multa on Japan and Germany. And they say, now you're going to be at our mercy. We're going to dictate the rules. Why? Because I have an atomic bomb. So it's equivalent to the gunpowder. So, with the only difference that in this case, the atomic bomb is much more powerful. So, nuclear power was an extremely important what invention and discovery of the properties of uranium, and invention because of the application of the nuclear reactor. What do you think about that, Mickey?
Yeah, I agree with that there is an invasion and discovery because yeah, you need to. found the properties and the futures of the uranium. But well, the way how you convert that uranium to, uh, for example, the atomic bomb and all the nuclears, how are called, teacher? Uh,
Nuclear weapons, nuclear
yeah,
weapons.
nuclear weapons. I don't know if there are other uses for the uranium. I think that yeah, but I just know the most popular uses of the uranium.
Well, absolutely. You can use them to generate energy, atomic energy, electricity. France, for example, remember, I think we once mentioned that France was able to produce 75% of their energy, of their electricity, through nuclear power plants, which is dangerous, but in the case of France, it has been very safe. So France produces 75% of their energy through nuclear stations, which is amazing because if you are able to sepultar the nuclear waste, then you create no pollution, as opposed to coal, which is carbon, right? When you have power plants made of coal, then they contaminate a lot. They pollute a lot the environment, like in Salamanca. For example, you go to Salamanca and you see all the pollution.
Yeah,
Whereas if you go to Paris, Geneva, if you go to Brussels, not Brussels, if you go to places in France where they have nuclear plants, you will, Marseille, you will see that there is no pollution because they're able to bury the nuclear waste. So you can have pros and cons. It's a very controversial topic, of course, because then you say, well, what if there is a leak, fuga? What if there is a leak and the nuclear waste goes to the ocean or goes to the environment, like in Chernobyl, remember?
yeah, Chernobyl.
So that's a controversial topic. But if you have the gunpowder or you have the nuclear knowledge, you have an advantage. We agree on that, right, Mitch?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's have our final words about the topic. We started talking about the five phases of genius. Then we went on to the topic of uh, most important inventions, most important discoveries. What are your final words about today's session, Mitch, and then Mickey, please?
Um, it was interesting go through the how the history of humanity structure our actual society.
Yeah, why was that interesting, Mitch?
Because we I usually never don't think how the structure of our actual society it was made um, through the history and now but now I'm kind of interested to search more about it or history of humanity.
Of humankind. Excellent. Very good. Fantastic comment, Mitch. Thank you very much. Mickey, which would be your concluding words about these interesting topics, which we've discussed two or three things?
yeah. Well, we agree that there are people who are born with a certain genius, but the genius could be developed. How? Well, if you practice, if you are, if you're still learning new things, if you are um dedicating enough time to develop you in a certain area or in a specific activity, well, you could get this type of geniusly. And and if we talk about the invasions and discoveries, um along all the time, a lot of invasions created for humans and discoveries who helped us to stay now in this reality. I don't know how to say it, but that makes us to create this reality, to have all this technology, to yeah, to create the life in how we live today. So for me, it was an interesting topic, and I would love to learn more about it and learn the skills that we could develop if we try to do new things or we try to learn something different.
Okay. Amazing comments, Mitch. Great comments. Mickey, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to send you the book, The Five Faces of Genius. You can glance through it, take a look at it, and make your own conclusions, have your own ideas. This is particularly directed to business. If you want to develop your genius inside within business, it's more in the business area more than artistic or technical or scientific or technological, but it's gonna you can translate from business to science and technology and vice versa. So I hope you find this book interesting. I'll send it to you. And
Thank
well, thank you for your time and make a commitment. What time can we meet tomorrow? Is tomorrow a good time to meet? Good day to meet tomorrow?
Yes, sure. For me, will be perfect. So no, Mitch.
What do you think, Mitch? What time is good for you?
Mm, 2:30.
2:30 would be great. Is that good with you, Mickey?
You can't sooner.
Sooner. I end Friday. I end classes at 2.
It's okay to 30, teacher.
2:30 then. Okay. Well, I'll see you
Okay.
tomorrow, guys. Take care, and I'll send you the book. Have a wonderful day. Say hello to the family. Take care,
Thank
guys.
you,
Okay,
teacher.
Mickey,
Take
Mitch.
care.
have an
You as well.
excellent day. Take
You
care.
too.
Thanks for the
Enjoy.
class.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Take
See you
care.
tomorrow, teacher. Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Thanks.